Electoral Ad-Hoc staff raised alarm over inadequate security during elections. Hello and welcome to Akweyatv News. I am Folusho Oluwole. In a significant gathering hosted by the Electoral Hub on September 15, 2023, concerns regarding the safety of electoral ad hoc staff during elections took center stage.
Most of you have comments to make, but you'll be able to make them when you come to the breakout session, all your personal experiences and the comments and the recommendations.
The event, supported by Electoral Foundation through the MADIBA Foundation for Good Governance, featured a roundtable discussion presided over by former INEC Commissioner Hajiya Amina Zakari.
Experience is very important to the electoral process because they were the entry point to voting. The voters meet them first, and these ad hoc staff are not INEC staff, so they must have worked under certain conditions that INEC needs to know about. So this discussion is about their experiences, their challenges, and suggestions and recommendations on what INEC needs to do to improve the working conditions of ad hoc staff and to improve the electoral process at large. Certainly the experiences from the 2023 election will make INEC do better in the governorship elections. And remember, these governorship elections are isolated, so there's more resources, material and human resources that INEC can deploy to improve on the process. The general election is harder and more challenging because you are covering the whole country, but these are isolated elections where INEC can put all its resources and focus and make it more functional.
Ad hoc staff, primarily drawn from the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, play a crucial role in upholding the integrity of the electoral process. The roundtable's objectives included documenting their experiences, identifying key lessons, proposing policy solutions for improved management, and enhancing their understanding of the electoral process. Princess Hamman-Obels, the Director of Electoral Hub, emphasized the need for experience sharing to enhance future elections in the country.
We cannot overemphasize the role of ad hoc staff. Ad hoc staff have key responsibility towards protecting the integrity of any electoral process. When they complain a lot about the integrity of the process, I know we all focus on the main INEC itself, but a major part of that responsibility go to the ad hoc staff because they would ensure the compliance with laws and procedures for elections. And when that is not done, that's why we'll be having technicalities at the judiciary. That's how important ad hoc staff are in the process of elections. But just to say that for the purpose of this meeting, we have 3 specific objectives. One of that is to document the experiences of ad hoc staff towards lesson learning on how to improve the process. And another objective of this meeting is to actually prefer policy solution in a way to, in such a way to better manage ad hoc staff. You know, I mean, INEC is doing all this great work, but we felt that maybe listening to ad hoc staff, we can come up with some policy recommendations that we can share with INEC in terms of how going forward they will better manage ad hoc staff.
Security emerged as a pressing issue, with ad hoc staff reporting instances of being left unprotected during crucial stages, leaving them vulnerable to intimidations or coercion. Former INEC National Commissioner Professor Okechukwu Ibianu delivered a presentation highlighting the requisite qualifications for electoral staff in Nigeria.
And 3 is courage. So knowledge, courage, and courage. These are the 3 elements that define the electoral official. Whether the electoral official ends up with the forward-looking face of Janus or the backward-looking face of Janus will depend on these 3 concepts.
Professor Ibianu underscored the significance of knowledge, courage, and courage, stressing the need for INEC personnel to be well versed in electoral procedures and resilience in the face of challenges.
Okay, number one is documentation, number two is research, and number three is after documenting and receiving these experiences, the experience should profile solutions, because of course the experiences will also talk about the challenges. So after talking about the challenges, what do? We'll profile solutions and also make it public. So at the end of the day, this meeting is going to be put in paper such that we can also share across the agencies that would have access to this information.
Knowledge. 2 is courage. And 3 is courage.
What this would eventually translate to is that we have a working system. So it also means that there are measures that are put in place, there are measures, the justice system is put in place, the reward system is also put in place. There are also sanctions. Then it also means that everyone can go to the polls with the mindset that their vote counts. And of course, the development begins from there.
Security personnel were similarly urged. Numerous ad hoc staff took the opportunity to share their experiences with a particular focus on inadequate security provisions during their operations. They echoed Professor Ibianu's concerns, pointing out that many lacked sufficient training and were often expected to possess advanced knowledge without proper instruction.
And they have to know how to even organize the election. So training is very, very important to improve knowledge of the process. In terms of courage, as I also said, people come under a lot of threats, harassment, pressure, and so on. So this is a job that also requires a lot of courage. Courage to stand up to people who want to do the wrong thing. Courage even to resist pressure from family, from friends, and so on. And then finally, on courage, it is about self-respect. It's about how you conduct yourself with politicians and other interested parties. Because elections are conducted by human beings. I think that's really the point. And the other thing is just the implementation of all the technical details. And the human beings who implement the technicalities of elections have to have these three things in the right amount. If they don't, then even if you design the best electoral system, it's likely that it will not work.
Evidence that the voices of ad hoc staff had illuminated critical areas requiring reform within the electoral process. INEC now faces the task of implementing these recommendations to fortify the foundation of democratic elections in the country.
Monitoring and sanctions that the HOD operations is missing in INEC, and that commendation, people used to get letters of commendation. Youth corpers used to get letters of commendation when we were in bilateral committee. If you did well, we'll give you a letter of commendation. If you didn't do well, we would take you to court.
That's all for our top story tonight. We'll keep you updated on any developments in this matter. Thank you for joining us at Akweyatv News.